morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is KDO, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another astrology peephole for today, the 7th of September, 2021. We have had the new moon in the sign of Virgo at 7:51 a.m. Bangkok time. So by the time I release this video, it will already have been a few hours past the peak of the new moon. And this one is a really sneaky one. Yeah, it's real sneaky, my friends. When the moon and the sun are both in Virgo, it can be really intense. Yeah. The sign of Virgo governs things like your digestive tract, your pancreas, your small intestine. So it has a lot to do with the breakdown, triage, and therefore and split up into what we absorb and what we release sort of functions of our body. It has a lot to do with, I mean, Virgo is a very analytical sign, right? It collects data, it analyzes it, it loves spreadsheets and organization. It's very analytical, it's very cerebral, right? The sixth house is about wellness, about health, and about routine. A lot about routine. So this is about a real reevaluation. All right. So what I've got here in my notes is that Virgo season brought a time to analyze ourselves, and this new moon is now kind of allowing us to define what it is that we take from this collection of findings. It's like putting together the peer-reviewed journal at the end of the study. You've got all the raw data now. You've got to sort of compile it and figure out what's important to pull from all of these experiences. So what are we taking and what are we leaving from this? What do we now know at the, nearing the end of this Virgo, well, I guess not quite nearing the end, but in this, it's like so analytical, it's hard to verbalize. Yeah, like you've analyzed the data. What is it that you're taking and what is it that you're leaving? What is important to put into the abstract? Yeah, you need to sell yourself on it now. So make sure that you really make a good argument for it in a way. So I've got this written down also that this is a very double-edged sword of new moons. All right, it's a two sides of a coin kind of a new moon, because new moon is always about sort of like intention, about starting something new. Yeah, we set our intentions, right, in new moons, but this one is like a real understanding of the duality of setting intentions and starting something new. Is that understanding that something does have to go in order for something new to come in. You only have so much spectrum, and if every space is occupied, there's no place for anything new to come in. So you must liberate some space to have something new replace it. And we are at that do or die kind of time where we've got to realize we're doing the, like, it's just the way your body would sort of take your food, break it all down into pieces, realize and sort of do the triage of saying, okay, we keep you as nutrients, we keep you as fuel, we keep you as good, but this, we don't need that, we get rid of that, this is what we lose. All right, so it's a complicated feeling, right? Because it's liberating to release these things, but it's also hard to do so, right? We're human beings, we're creatures of habit. We don't really necessarily love change too much, okay? And especially big upheavals. But this new moon really has some very, very hard aspects. So either way, pardon me, whatever stays is going to make a lasting impact on how we manifest in this new moon. So it's going to be very different than other new moons that we've experienced. We've always kind of had our little rituals that we do, and it's almost like this new moon is going to sneak up on you, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm not prepared. I haven't done anything, and I don't know. But just go with the flow, all right? Because this is kind of the process of figuring out what goes and what stays, all right? So new moon is obviously the moon in conjunction with the sun. So our head and our heart are having a meeting, and it may be dry, but it is productive as fuck. Excuse my language. Very, very productive meeting between your head and your heart, okay? Your head and your heart have been coming together and going apart for months and months, kind of like flailing around like chickens with their head cut off. And now it's like, okay, both of them have gotten serious and gone, okay, we're not fucking around anymore. We're not dilly-dallying. We're not trying to figure things out. We've both figured out our stuff enough so that we can come down, sit, present our facts to the other, and see what the hell is happening, all right? Okay, now, the new moon itself, which is the conjunction of the sun and the moon, has two pretty challenging aspects. Okay, so we have the new moon is making a trine with Uranus in retrograde in the sign of Taurus. And as we know, Uranus retrograde in the sign of Taurus brings upheavals and changes, but in a kind of tough love sort of way. Right? It is nurturing to us in a different way. It's redefining compassion and realizing that sometimes in order to be compassionate, you must be severe. Okay? So it's a healing energy. It's an expansive energy with this trine. But let's look at it in terms of the sun and the moon respectively to Uranus. Okay, so with the moon in the trine with Uranus, we have, I've got in my notes that Virgo is ready for change. The moon in Virgo makes us ready for change with regards to our emotional bodies, our subconscious. It's not so unexpected at all, in fact, because our subconscious has known that this change was going to need to happen for a very long time. This crumbling is not unforeseen. Okay, my friends, this is something that we saw coming. All right, we knew it. We knew it. All right, and with the sun in a trine with Uranus, this is a bit of an ego death. Yeah. Some aspect of ourself that we have, that we were quick to sort of put out as part of our external being, as part of our sun, as part of our image, so to speak. We might have been really quick to do that before, but now after all of these fluctuating energies, all of a sudden maybe they need to be reworked or re-examined. All right, so we knew that there was something coming that we would need to figure out and rework. And now we know sort of what needs to be triaged, right? What needs to stay and what needs to go. It's just the meeting between the head and the heart to figure out how we do that. Yeah, or just actually not even yet how we do it. Just laying out the facts of this ego death that we've experienced, all right? Now, this is really like, this brings me back to the 6th house kind of deal, health, wellness, routine. All right, so we have enough of a routine that we could see sort of where the flaws were in this Virgo mindset. Looking at our situation through the lens of Virgo, we know very well where the weak points are. We know very well where the weak points are. We can be objective about it sometimes, all right? But it's our subconscious that's really pushing us to do this now because we have so much programming that's not working for us that it's a do or die kind of scenario. And the ego death is just inevitable. It's just inevitable. It's for our better. And it breaks the routine, yes, but it allows us to put into place a new routine that's going to be much, much more conducive for who we really are. Yeah, keep in mind, I believe Mercury's retrograde shadow started today too. I saw something that I need to confirm. I don't have confirmed, but I believe that the retrograde shadow has already begun. Let me see. When does it start? Okay, no, I've got next week, but I can't remember. Somebody said. Anyway, whatever. Mercury retrograde is coming, right? So this will be all of that stuff. Oh my God. It's very, very, very intense, my friends. Okay. Now, we also have this new moon is in opposition with Neptune. Yay, in opposition with Neptune. We love that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so if we break it down again, let's say when we look at the moon side of things, from the moon lens, in opposition with Neptune is our emotions are being challenged by the truths emerging from our subconscious. And especially with Neptune in retrograde in the sign of Pisces, this is like, it's a real disillusionment, which is exactly what the sun opposition Neptune retrograde in the sign of Pisces does. Full-blown disillusionment. Okay, profound personal truths coming to light, and it's something unexpected. It is something not, well, I mean, unexpected to our conscious mind because it's just disruptive to our routine. It's not the same as what we were expecting, so we've not accounted for it in a way. But we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. It was prophesied by the soothsayer, by Neptune in retrograde in the sign of Pisces. We have been told over and over again for the last weeks that this was coming, that something was coming, that this disillusionment was in effect, that we were becoming clear on what it is truly to be us. About what our subconscious plays into our conscious mind, about how that manifests as our sun. Okay, this is all it's no mysteries, but it is a mystery. It's a complete enigma, complete and utter enigma, my darlings. So, like I said, it is the double-edged sword of new moons. It's very intense. Okay, and last we've got the North Node in conjunction with Black Moon Lilith, as all of this is happening. So hardcore, all right? Black Moon Lilith is playing Invasion of the Body Snatchers with the North Node. It's going, you cannot get to your destiny until you deal with me. You're going to have to come through me. If you want to get to that, you've got to come through me. And this is what I've been telling a lot of people that have been coming to me lately, is there is no way around your shadow, my darling. The only way to the light is straight through it. And Black Moon Lilith right now is heavily representing your shadow. And for many of you, this is shame. It has something to do with shame. And if you've never listened to Vulnerability Talks by Brené Brown, please go and listen to them, because she talks about what shame is. And this is very, very, very important. You have been shaming yourself in some regard because of some expectation that some construct was put in place. And this isn't always, a construct that's put in place is not always voluntary. Because there's this funny thing about being a human, is that you start off in your life with a blank slate, right? When you are an infant, you've got nothing. And you must learn by experience. You must learn by watching other beings behave. Yeah? That's how we develop language as a baby, is you watch other humans and you listen to other humans speaking. And then you emulate them. Okay? So we have no choice but to be exposed to other humans in order to create our character, in order to become a human being. But guess what? Humans are flawed. Okay, and everybody makes mistakes. No matter how badly you want to be a good parent, sometimes it doesn't always work in your favor, all right? So everybody gets fucked up a little bit by their upbringing. But it's not anybody's fault that they get beaten up by their upbringing, because that's what creates their character, and their character is a beautiful thing, okay? So yes, you need to be given some bad examples in your young life in order to become the human that you are. And you know what? Yes, this involves sometimes coming to a bump in the road where you're like, holy crap, this is a totally unhealthy version of part of my personality. I know there's something good in it, right? Yeah, but there is parts of it that don't work. And those are the parts that we need to slough away to make room for more healthy versions. So with this is truly, you cannot get to your destiny, the North Node, without passing through your Black Moon Lilith, which like I said, it's the thing you've been objectified for, the thing you've been shamed for, the thing that you feel that you've been cast out in the cold because of unjustly. All right, you've been misunderstood for some reason, and you know what? Some of you have just misunderstood yourselves. I know it's convoluted energy, my friends, but it is what it is. All right, just to resume this, just my little notes here. It says it's now or never. What lessons do we already have in our mastery levels to help us with this unraveling of this deep-seated shame, frustration, or even anger? Okay, so you may be feeling extreme emotions right now. You might be feeling very volatile. You might be feeling like you want to give up. You might be feeling like everything is too much. You might be feeling like, why even bother? Like, why would I even put in all of this energy if I just keep on being told to wait and just keep on being told to, it's coming? And because like nothing is, like, it's very extremely frustrating, angry, disappointed energy, all right? And if you're feeling this, know that it's not all yours. Yes, some of it is definitely yours, but there is a lot of this that we are all going through together. We are feeling this like collective frustration and wheel turning in a muddy rut that just feels so unproductive. But that's what the Virgo season is all about. It's like, we got to tighten up this ship. Virgo is like the super efficient German of the zodiac in a way. You know, like, and I no shade, man. Some of my best friends are very, very much in that persona, whether they are actually German or not. Efficiency is a very good thing. You know, it serves a purpose. It can feel harsh. Yeah, it can feel unfeeling sometimes. It can feel cold. But is it effective? Absolutely. So necessary evils, my friends. Necessary evils. It's just kind of the deal. All right, I'm going to pull a card of the day from you from a very special deck that I have made myself. This is the, I call this the Heart Awakening Pretty Things, Pretty Things Heart Awakening playlist. This is a playlist that I built through a pretty challenging couple of months of my life that I then turned into a deck, and I absolutely adore it. So this is it. We've got Atlas Hands by Benjamin Francis Leftwich, and this is number 31, which breaks to a number 4. 4 is this is the number of home. It's the Cancerian number. It's the it's the number of stability and security and all kinds of wonderful things like that. It can be challenging for some of us, absolutely, but hey, it is what it is. It's necessary. The water there is deeper than anything you've ever seen. Jump right in and swim until you're free. See, it's saying, this is exactly what I was saying. It's this duality of this, is that you're in a place right now where the water is deeper than you have ever been. It is dark. It is black. It is cold. All right. But there's no way around it. So you might as well just jump in and swim. All right. Jump in and swim. It's time. Yeah. It's not super comfortable. Yeah. It's really not, but it's going to free you. That water is so purifying. It's going to get you to exactly where you need to be. Also, the title of this song, Atlas Hands, it reminds me of, it sort of brings up this idea of, I believe it was Atlas. He was I can't remember exactly the story, but this is Greek mythology, I believe, where he was destined to like hold up the earth, right? He was holding up the world. Atlas just stands there and holds up the world. He's got this incredible burden in his hands. Can you imagine the hands? Like literally that's all you ever do, is you're always just like holding onto the earth. How much of a burden that would be. So this for me is calling you to release control. It's part of all of our challenges as well. It's like we like to be control freaks. We want to know what's happening, right? We want to know what's going on. We want to know what to expect. We want to be able to plan ahead. Yeah. Don't right now. It's not a time to plan ahead. Because when you plan ahead, you don't leave space for beautiful things to come to you. And this is a time for receiving. So allow the space for beautiful things to come to you now more than ever. Okay, we've got stalking, we've got alignment, and we've got force it. Okay, this is interesting. So there is something, there's an energy that you desire, or you are even destined to come into alignment with. Yeah. But you're constantly helicopter parenting it. You are constantly checking in on it. You are not leaving it alone. You are constantly worrying about it, constantly thinking about it, constantly going over the same thing in your head over and over and over and over again. Maybe you're checking somebody's Facebook all the time. Maybe you're checking in on them. Maybe you're watching tarot videos 50,000 times a day. Whatever it is, there is this like overstimulation energy with this thing that you wish to alignment. And it's because you're trying to force it into existence. All right, they're saying you're never going to get it if you force it. All right, forcing it is not the way to do it right now. It's not where you want to be. Let's get another one just because it was number 4. Let's see, one last thought. Reconnection, okay? They're saying, do you really want this thing? Do you want to connect with this thing? Do you want to align with this thing? Okay, you cannot force it. This is like they're saying, like there is this magnetism here that is forcing. That this magnetism is what is forcing it, and you are not governing that magnetism. Okay, this is a regular magnet. It's not a solenoid. Okay, there are some, if you were to connect you could adjust the magnetism of something depending on how much current you put into it. Not this one. This is a one trick pony old school magnet. It has one strength. All right, and you cannot fight that magnetism. And this is like you're trying to put two magnets that are of the same polarity together, and it's just going like it's never going to meet. Okay, it's never going to meet. If you try and force it, it'll never happen. All right, so you just have to let it naturally go and let it come together in the way that it's naturally meant to come together. Look, you have a destiny, whether you like it or not. Something is coming for you. But maybe you constantly trying to figure out what it is, or how it's coming, or when it's coming, or who's coming, or all of these details is all of that. It's just putting unnecessary strain in it, and you can't fight the polarity of these magnets. All right. It brings me back again to this polarity thing. It reminds me of the feminine and masculine. Sorry, I just keep dropping things. It reminds me of this feminine and masculine energy that we've been talking about, right? It's like, if you want to be the damsel who gets a knight in shining armor and has the Disney existence, well, if you're being the knight of shining armor, there's no place for a knight of shining armor in your life. You are filling that role. So you can't have something come in that fills that role. So be very careful with that polarity as well. If you're both knights, no one is ever going to save anybody, because it's just like, now you're fighting one another. When in fact, both of you have the intention to save the day, but you're seeing each other as foes because you both have the same goal, and now you're seeing each other as competition. You've got mirroring energy with something. And instead of using that mirror to go, wait, I see what this overexpression is keeping me from doing. How do I readapt and reevaluate the situation to come into it more naturally? You're kind of just going like, no, this is the way it is. So try not to be too Virgo-y, my dears. I know what that's like. Trust me, it doesn't do anything but make you lose sleep unnecessarily. You need your rest. Make sure you sleep well, okay? About that, I'm gonna have to splice this together with my very best horrible technology things. I got a phone call, and this is learning a lesson to go on disturb mode when you make videos. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's it for me. In theory, I'll be on live tomorrow over on Instagram, the 8th of September, 2021. And I'll also give you guys a peephole over here on YouTube as well. So keep an eye out, turn on your notifications or your subscription or whatever the heck, all that stuff. Please like and subscribe and do those YouTube-y things. All right, I will see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm sorry for anything you're going through if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you so much for being a beautiful, beautiful human and lending your energy to this circuit that I hold so dear. Thanks to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, angels, dragons, ancestors, I don't know, whoever energy is here to give us these beautiful, clear, concise messages for our highest good. I love you to the moon and the stars and infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too, but if not, no worries. I'll catch you another time. Have a good one. Bye.